Welcome back to the program. One thing that we know is a fact, and that is that Ilhan Noor Saeed Elmi married her brother, whatever Saeed Elmi, whatever his name is. That's a fact. It's 100% fact. It's not conjecture. It's not hearsay. It's not an opinion. I've seen the marriage certificates. They're not fakes. They're not AI fakes. They're not deep fakes. They are real, okay? And Tom Homan was on Rob Schmidt's show on Newsmax and was asked specifically about Ilhan Omar and what's happening with her, and I guess you could call it the Samala Sota community or the mini Samala community, whatever you want to call it, and what's going to happen next and what President Trump is working on for that as well. And more importantly, will there be criminal investigations into her marriage of her brother? So first, we're going to play President Trump real quick, introducing and talking about it.
Of Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. It's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says that, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitations became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at it. But this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
So when he says, I'm, quote, running it down this week, that means he's referring it for criminal investigation to the Department of Justice, just so you understand the way they speak.
It's tremendous that, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. I mean, that would mean
50% of the visas are fraudulent in the Somali sewer rat Minnesota community. 50%. Well, what does that mean? It means there's 80,000 of these sewer rats running around in Minnesota, and at least 40,000 of them are here on fake or illegal visas. So what does that mean? That means you're going to say bye-bye to at least 40,000, half of them. So we can pretty much guarantee that at least 40,000 are going to be leaving the country right off the bat. And he confirms it right now.
That half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of their visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all of them. I mean, we're going to look at those here illegally, of course. We're going to look at those here under a visa or some sort of, immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at the national security threats. But those who came through a process that weren't properly vetted, who didn't provide documentation, who slipped through the Biden's weak processes on, giving visas and temporary, whether student visas or visitors visas or whatever. We're going the whole gamut. President Trump has instructed us go down and we're going to deep dive all of this. And we're going to hold people accountable. So yes, there are going to be multiple deportations coming. Absolutely.
There's so many claims of a racist element to this story, and when we're talking about a certain subsection of refugees into this country, but it bears reminding to people that it wasn't very long ago at all that Americans expected that people that came to our country would contribute to the cause.
What do I always say? Immigrants in yesteryear, when they came to America, I should say, they came here with good intentions. They came here to make the country better. They came here to make their lives better. They came here for the opportunity for freedom and liberty and prosperity and everything that America gives to those that are looking for those types of things that they can't get in their third world rat sewer S-hole countries, right? Now, Look at it now. What can we take? How can we deceive? How can we rape? How can we murder? How can we pillage? How can we steal? What can we do? Can we Islama, whatever you want to call it, make the country Islamic, I guess is the best words, and do all of these things to bring the third world to the first world? That's what they're all about. So why on earth would we want these people in our country? Why did Europe allow these people into all of their countries when all those people would not assimilate? All those people didn't want to speak English. They wanted to speak their native language. All those people brought diseases. They brought drugs. They brought violence. They brought third world mentality. Why would we want that here? We don't want it here. And that's not being racist or xenophobic or Islamophobic or anything like that. It's being smart. It's looking out for our fellow Americans, our Native American people. Okay? And so putting that all together, we're going to get rid of you. You're not going to stay here. You can't stay here. It's not even really a question of whether you will or you won't. You can't. Because we can't afford you. We don't trust you. And we certainly don't want the Islamification, that was the word I was looking for, of the United States of America. Not on our watch. Remember, we are the most appreciative of the Second Amendment, and one of the only countries that even has a Second Amendment in the entire world. And we're not going to give it up for anything, number one. And number two, we're not afraid to defend ourselves, our communities, and our country against invaders and people that want to do us harm. So that's not a threat. That's a promise from the American people.
Would assimilate to our culture and to who we are. And we're just not seeing that at all in this community. We're seeing a community that's largely hostile to our culture, wants to bring in an Islamic culture into our nation, while doing so and staying vastly on the dole, on some kind of assistance, taking more than they contribute. Knowing all of that, here's
taking more than they contribute. Really, that kind of sums up what I've been saying all along. They are trying to take more than they contribute. So if there's an imbalance of value versus cost, right? What's the value? What are you bringing to the country? Is the value high enough, or is the cost higher than the value, right? This is sales 101, marketing 101. These are things that I used to teach when people were, purchasing things and buying cars and doing mortgages and all that stuff. It's value versus cost, right? Is the value worth that cost? Clearly it's not. They're not bringing anything to our country other than murder, rape, disease, carjackings, corruption, Medicare fraud, Medicaid fraud, COVID fraud, stealing from our taxpayers, money and everything else. They're not giving us anything. Their cost is way higher than their value. Why would we want you here? It's simple math if you think about it.
Ilhan Omar on our immigration system under this president and the job that you're doing.
I can't even listen to her.
This is certainly not what the founding fathers of.
Oh, what the hell would she know about the founding fathers? You're a terrorist. You're an infiltrator and a terrorist. I called you that back in 2017, and here we are, almost in 2026, and I'm double, triple, and quadrupling down on the fact that you are indeed an infiltrator and a terrorist, Ilhan.
The American dream were...
American dream? You came here sucking on a peach pit, starving to death, lying on your N-400 immigration forms, saying that you were never part of or close to a totalitarian authoritarian regime. Then you get here, you got no money, you run for your local community, you win a Senate seat, and then you run for Congress, and your first year in Congress, you're worth like maybe $100,000. Now you're worth $30 million. Yeah, we know how you got the money too. We know exactly how you got the money. Unbelievable. Talking about the American dream. You should be kissing Trump's white ass, okay? You should be kissing his ass in Macy's window during the Christmas Thanksgiving Day parade in appreciation.
We're thinking about when they said, that when they set out to write the Constitution.
What's your reaction?
Like she would know anything about the Constitution. She wipes her ass with it. She probably cleans her hijab with it.
To that?
Unlike the Biden administration, we're following the Constitution. We're enforcing the law. We're not ignoring the law. And you're right. The proper, assimilation is important and is going to be required. Not only that, when they come here on their legal program, they're required to be self-sufficient.
They are required to be self-sufficient. You can't come here and be a welfare slut, okay? Plain and simple. Why should we, taxpayers, pay for you that you came here? You don't give anything, you don't contribute anything. Again, your cost is higher than your value. Why should you be here at all, ever? Well, hopefully you won't be.
Have to prove they're self-sufficient. So a lot of them, first thing they're doing to get here is get on the public dole. President Trump put his foot down, and like I said earlier, we're doing a deep dive on thousands and thousands of files, and we'll hold people accountable. And I'm so tired of them pulling the race card all the time,
Right.
because we're doing this racist. ICE has arrested people from 180 different countries. Europe, Asia.
Now, he's making a point as in the fact that we're not racist because we arrest people in 180 different countries. But let's backtrack on that. 180 different countries have sent illegal aliens to our borders. I think that's more of the story than even the point he's trying to make.
South America,
Every color
they're
you
not
can
just
imagine.
arresting brown and black people, they're arresting people from all over the world. The immigration enforcement is colorblind. There's one thing that matters to us. Did they follow the immigration law? Are they here legally? Did they break the law once they became here, either illegally or legal? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So we're following the law. That's all that matters to us. Title 8 United States Code, Title 18 United States Code, the Immigration Nationality Act, what that says, we're enforcing without apology. That's the way it's supposed to be. As a member of Congress, she should respect that we're enforcing the laws that Congress enacted.
Yeah.
There it is, in a nutshell. And so we're now enforcing the laws that Congress enacted years ago, the Immigration and Nationality Act. We're not going to let it slide. We're not going to look the other way. We're not going to turn the other cheek. We're not going to let some NGOs make all these billions and billions of dollars bringing these people in. We're not going to allow airports to drop people off at airports being flown in from these foreign countries. We're done. We're not going to allow the fake Catholic charities, and yes, I'll say it, because look, there's a difference between the Catholic right and the Catholic left. And there is a huge schism within the church, okay? And we have to fight against the Catholic left. Not the Catholic right, but the Catholic left. Because the Catholic left believes in open borders. The Catholic left believes in abortion on demand. The Catholic left believes in globalism. And that is not what the Catholic right believes in. The doctrine of what Jesus Christ actually meant. Not all this bastardized changing of the language and everything else and making it, for whatever we want, non-denominational, and you don't have to be this and you can believe in that. Bullshit, okay? It's garbage. It is garbage. And we are going to say, point blank, you cannot come here anymore if your value is not higher than your cost. It's simple math, folks. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.